Hello, I'm Leila Bicakcic. I'm from the Center for Investigative Reporting here in Sarajevo, substituting for the Balkan Green Foundation, which I'm a board member of. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it, and they would actually be a better fit, but still, I will try to do my best to moderate this panel. Talking about the air pollution and clean air in Sarajevo is oxymoron, I would say. Anybody visiting Sarajevo during the winter knows how difficult it is to live and what are the problems with the air pollution. During the winter, the problem is kind of constant. It's only growing. In recent years, measures that have been in place only tackled the problem, but didn't actually solve it in any way. So let's hope that this panel is going to bring some hope for Sarajevo and for the cities of Bosnia and Herzegovina among the Western Balkan countries that are in a big problem with the air pollution. I have a great list of panelists with me, very experienced, very knowledgeable on the topic. And without the further ado, I will turn to my first panelist, Emilija Sarafska from Municipality of Bitola. That is one of the municipalities which is a signatory of the Clean Air Regions Initiative. And it will be very interesting to hear about your experience with the initiative. Where are you right now and what are the sort of lessons learned? Exactly.
Dear panelists, dear guests, first of all, I want to thank the organizers of this forum, the Energy Community, for giving me the opportunity to be one of the panelists of this important topic. Not only for Macedonia, I think that is very important for all Balkans country. My name is Emilija Sarafska. I work in the Municipality of Bitola as energy efficiency advisor. One of the initiatives of the Secretariat of the Energy Community, 10 cities of the Balkans signed the Declaration of Clear Regions. Last year, I think it was 30th of June, something like that, 1 year before. The Municipality of Bitola is only signatory of the declaration from the Republic of North Macedonia. The municipality has taken significant steps to improve clear lines in the region. And with this kind of exchange and experience, the signatory cities have the opportunity to take joint specific activities in this direction. Why is the Municipality of Bitola signatory of this declaration? First of all, Municipality of Bitola is a city in the southwest part of Macedonia, only 13 kilometers from the border with Greece and with about 80,000 inhabitants. Close to Bitola, only on 10-12 kilometers, there is one of the biggest and largest thermal power plant in the country, REC Bitola, which produced about 70% of the country electricity needs. Also, Bitola is considered one of the most polluted city in our country. Here is Skopje, Tetovo, and Bitola. There are three tops. Last week, Bitola hosted several members of initiative of coal region in transition in Western Balkans and Ukraine. And during that session, we visited the thermal power plant REC Bitola and the large coal mine Suvodo. The management told us that since the start of operation of the thermal power plant 40 years ago, the boilers themselves have been modernized, but not the filters. Although the state does not come out with specific data, the non-government sector has done several tests in which it has been proved that REC Bitola pollutes the environment in the Pelagonian region. But nobody wants to speak about the numbers or the level of pollution. On the other hand, as weak line in our city, the lack of bicycle paths, which are now in the direction of construction after the new traffic study, can be pointed out. Traffic has increased, and the city center is a bottleneck with architecture from several hundred years ago. That's a very big problem. The city buses are private and with an outdated fleet. The city does not have central heating, although the toplification project should be implemented through the World Bank in coming years, which will connect some of the public facilities on this system. The gas has not also reached the Bitola, so you can imagine what's going on in our city. The municipality, with its legal competitions, subsidies on several occasions the purchase of bicycles, air conditioners. For the first time this year, it subsidized the installation of energy facades of buildings older than 30 years and constantly performs energy modernization of public buildings, schools, public kindergartens, or something like that. In 1 year, a lot has really been done in terms of improving air quality, since we are part of CARI initiative, an energy efficiency program and the local environmental action plan are being developed with the help of the Ministry of Environment. We also apply for calls to embassies for helping implementing activities for cleaner air. On the other hand, the sessions we held through the CARI initiative were of great help, because from the experience from the other countries and their transition to regions with cleaner air, examples could be taken in solving this problem. And to the end of my short presentation, because we said that 5 minutes is enough, I will refer to the results of the project, development and implementation of a health index for air pollution in the cross-border region between Macedonia and Greece, of the Center for Climate Change, from the effects in that project said, from the effects of air pollution in Bitola, we determined that 15% of the population's mortality is due to air pollution. That said Professor Dragan Georgiev from the Institute of Public Health at an international conference in Bitola. Air pollution causes disruption of the regulatory mechanism in the organism, and thus the whole organism suffers. The most common source of pollution is still heating, which must be seriously reset without patching, and the health traffic to stabilize, which can reduce air pollution by up to 50%.
Thank you, Emilija. Listening to the situation in Bitola, it's easily applicable to pretty much the whole region. With minor differences, we pretty much share the same problems. But moving to the Secretariat, Energy Community Secretariat in Vajda, to tell us more about the initiative and the role of the Secretariat in the initiative, but also touch upon the large combustion plants as big air polluters. So what's the situation there and what's your activities?
Thank you very much, Leila, for this question. Good afternoon to everybody. I hope that translators can hear me well. Just looking for a sign. Yeah, all good. Thank you very much. So yes, to start with the first part of your question, as Emilija has already mentioned, CARI is indeed the Clean Air Regions Initiative is something relatively new in the life of the energy community and the Secretariat as well. Almost just precisely 1 year ago, the declaration of mayors were signed, and I would like to emphasize that the initiative was that of the mayors. So it's something that the Secretariat is very actively supporting, but it was very good to see that these ambitious municipalities and their leaders were coming together. At the beginning, it was 9 municipalities, and then 3 municipalities have joined ever since. There are 6 from Bosnia and Herzegovina, 2 from Serbia, 1 from Montenegro, 1 from North Macedonia, and 1 from Albania. So unfortunately not yet from Kosovo. We are waiting for the first municipality to join from Kosovo as well. In this first year, we were focusing on capacity building, something that Emilija has also referred to. So we had the first event in person in Szeged in Hungary, September last year, because I have to also emphasize that The Secretariat is supported by the Western Balkans Green Center, which is based in Budapest and is an agency of the Hungarian government. So we have a memorandum of understanding to establish a center of excellence of experts, and this is supporting the Clean Air Regions initiative. So they were hosting the kickoff event in Hungary. And there we had the opportunity for 2 days to basically to set up the framework for the trainings. And then we continued online because we were operating very much under COVID conditions. So we had 6 sessions, again, partnering up with experts from Western Balkans Green Center, Secretariat, and also from other sources. We had cooperation with the Malopolska region, for instance, from Poland, also certain Hungarian municipalities sharing their experiences. As you very rightly said, Leila, I mean, this is an issue that is definitely not limited to the Western Balkans. Of course, this is something where air pollution here is a very prominent topic. But if we look at the, let's say, the eastern part of the EU member states, we can see very, very similar issues, either when we talk about transport, either if you talk about industry, or especially domestic heating and all the problems related to that particular angle. So we had the 6 capacity building online trainings. These were half day or in one case 1 day full day workshops. And then after that we followed up spring this year with bilaterals with the municipalities. We also see that some municipalities already have taken steps so much forward that they are already on the brink of adopting their local air quality plans. And then we also received signals from other municipalities that they need a bit more support. So we are trying to organize this bilateral support starting from the second half of this year. Then to go to the second half of the question, you mentioned the large combustion plants and the LCP directive. I think many of you also here in the audience and also from the colleagues listening online, they are very familiar with the acronym LCPs and all the implementation issues related to that particular piece of the energy community environmental legislation. So the LCP directive applies in the energy community since 1st of January 2018. So this is a period of 4 years. The contracting parties had the opportunity to have so-called national emission reduction plans up to 2028. So we are now in more or less in the middle of this period. We will have half time next year. And we can see that, well, it was kind of expected to some extent, but implementation is definitely not going according to as it should. So we have also 4 open dispute settlement case against contracting parties for non-compliance with the ceilings established under this national emission reduction plan. We also have another dispute settlement case against Montenegro for not complying with the so-called opt-out rules. These are limited lifetime derogation rules, 20,000 hours maximum. And if the plants are using this up too fast, then this is an issue of non-compliance. Obviously, we are very much aware of the current situation, and with the situation that we are actually towards the winter even more getting into energy security concerns and so on. But it's very important to emphasize that basically it's a simple legal question whether there's compliance or not. And the other thing is just I have to go back to the time frame. So this is an obligation that applies already for more than 4 years. So it is the current situation is a result of delayed investments. So that's it from my side. I'm looking forward to the
Thank you.
future
Thank you.
discussion.
We'll probably get back with questions. Now moving again to the local issues in municipality of Pljevlja. Jasmin Celebic is here with us. Well, talking about the large combustion plants, Pljevlja has recently started with modernization. So it would be great for you to tell us the situation in Pljevlja, and particularly the role of the municipality in the process of modernization, please. Just for the audience, Jasmin is going to talk in our local languages. So if anybody needs translation, just grab the headsets. So just so you're prepared. Thank you.
Prvo bih želio sve da vas pozdravim i hvala vam na prilici da učestvujemo u ovom forumu. Ovo je također jedna ozbiljna tema koja, kao i ostale opštine gdje su prisutni predstavnici, koja pogađa mnogo opštinu Pljevlja. Opština Pljevlja se nalazi na sjeveru Crne Gore, pozicionirana je u kotlini na 760 metara nadmorske visine. Veliki problem u opštini Pljevlja su duge magle u jesenjem i zimskom periodu, koje su uzrokovane velikom koncentracijom PM čestica. Vaše pitanje vezano oko modernizacije i ekološke rekonstrukcije termoelektrane u Pljevljima. U Pljevljima se nalazi termoelektrana, isto tako i rudnik uglja, lignitnog uglja. Neophodna stvar koja mnogo utiče na koncentraciju PM čestica u samoj opštini je pozicija termoelektrane. Polako se ušlo u sam proces realizacije njene modernizacije, ekološke rekonstrukcije, gdje se nadamo da će se uticaj tih PM čestica umanjiti samom njenom modernizacijom. Međutim, sama priča o gašenju termoelektrane, a samim tim gašenjem i rudnika uglja, imat će veliki uticaj na samu opštinu. Pošto dolazim iz lokalne samouprave, više ću pričati o stvarima koje utiču na lokalnu samoupravu i na samo stanovništvo opštine Pljevlja. Zatvaranjem termoelektrane izgubio bi se veliki resurs u finansijskom smislu, gdje bi opština pretrpila ozbiljne kako direktne, tako i indirektne finansijske gubitke. Samim tim i gašenjem rudnika uglja isto bi dovelo do iste situacije. Tako da ozbiljno smo shvatili problem modernizacije i ekološke rekonstrukcije termoelektrane, gdje samom njenom ekološkom rekonstrukcijom predviđeno je i toplifikacija grada, gdje se nadamo da će u dodatnoj mjeri pomoći Pljevljima, a objasnit ću vam kroz ovu diskusiju zbog čega. Upravo kao što sam spomenuo, opština se nalazi u kotlini. Ozbiljan problem su magle koje znaju da traju, da okuju grad po nekoliko sedmica, koje nije samo izazvano termoelektranom i rudnikom uglja. U opštini Pljevlja se nalazi i lokalno preduzeće, to je gradska toplana, koja radi na zagrijavanju stambenog i poslovnog sektora u samom centru grada. Gradska toplana je pozicionirana u strogom centru i nalazi se u podrumu stambeno-poslovne zgrade, gdje su instalirana 3 kotla snage od po 2 megavata. Osnovni energent je ugalj. Dodatni problem predstavlja loši filteri i loš proces oprašivanja prilikom sagorijevanja, koji isto stvara dodatni problem u samoj opštini i stvaranju PM čestica. Dodatno je problem što sam proces odšljakivanja, odnosno izbacivanja nusproizvoda sagorijevanja je isto vrši se ručno. Tako da je to dodatni problem koji iziskuje ozbiljan pristup rješavanju te problematike u samom gradu. Ako daću vam podatak, na gradsku kotlarnicu je prikopčano oko 400 domaćinstava u gradskom jezgru i oko 70 poslovnih prostora, gdje je pored toga procjenjuje se da u gradu postoji oko 5000 domaćinstava i svi su osuđeni da koriste alternativne izvore toplotne energije za svoja domaćinstva. Tako da u velikoj mjeri, pošto u samom gradu je rudnik, u velikoj mjeri se koristio u nekom prethodnom periodu ugalj kao osnovni energent za zagrijavanje domaćinstava. predvidjeli smo da je to veliki problem. Tako je opština u saradnji sa vladom države Crne Gore 2015. pokrenula program Energy, gdje smo vršili određene subvencije prema stanovništvu i jačanje njihove svijesti u nabavljanju kotlova na pelet. I sama eliminacija kotlova na ugalj. Međutim, sav taj proces implementacije toga dao je dobar rezultat kada je opština krenula sa svojim resursima da subvencionira nabavku peleta, jer kao što ste upoznati, pelet je skuplji energent u odnosu na ugalj, tako da je opština prema građanima dala određenu subvenciju i olakšice u nabavci peleta. Tako smo prve godine imali 240 domaćinstava koji su aplicirali za nabavku peleta prema opštini, a na današnji dan već imamo preko 1200 korisnika koji koriste kotlove na pelet i taj broj je u stalnom porastu. Sve su to, da kažemo, neki mali pomaci, mali koraci ka rješavanju tih problema. Sam podatak da je 2014. prekoračenje PM čestica u gradskom jezgru iznosio više od 12 puta, već na zadnje 2 godine on se smanjio na 3-4 puta, i dalje je u prekoračenju, ali postoje pomaci u smanjenju zagađenja. Tako da smo krenuli u prethodne 2 godine sa novim projektima utopljavanja poslovnih stambenih zgrada kao i pojedinačnih domaćinstava. Je također lokalna samouprava krenula sa određenim subvencijama prema stanovništvu i jačanju njihove svijesti za ugradnjom termofasada i zamjenom dotrajale stolarije. I nadamo se da će to u nekom periodu da isto da svoj rezultat tako što će se koristiti manje energenta za ogrjev i stvarat će se manje koncentracije zagađujućih materija. Pored toga, već duži niz godina isto smo vidjeli da dodatni problem predstavlja velika koncentracija vozila u gradskom jezgru. U opštini Pljevlja je preko 8000 registrovanih vozila, gdje su većinom starija od 15 godina i koristi se dizel motori, što je isto ogroman problem u zagađenju same opštine. Tako da smo krenuli isto sa akcijom jačanja svijesti građana. Isto dajemo subvencije za nabavku električnih trotineta, bicikala i stalno organizujemo sportske manifestacije gdje u određenim danima obustavljamo saobraćaj u gradskom jezgru i jačamo svijest da se iskupe građani i da se vozimo određenim destinacijama sa trotinetima električnim, sa biciklima, sa rolerijade, razne biciklijade, da bi jačali svijest kod ljudi, kako kod omladine, tako kod starijih, da trebaju više da vode računa, da nije samo problem u toj energetskoj zajednici, da samo oni trebaju da rešavaju problem zagađenja, nego trebaju svi građani da se uključe u rešavanje problema zagađenja grada i to je neki naš cilj i put gdje želimo da, pored jačanja svijesti energetskog sektora, da jačamo i svijest civilnog sektora, da se uključe u rešavanje problema opštine Pljevlja. To je to za početak, pa nastavit diskusiju.
Hvala Jasmine, opet vrlo slična situacija, naravno ima neke specifičnosti, ali situacija koja se može primijeniti u svim ostalim dijelovima bivše Jugoslavije, barem u ovim WB6, jel? I'll switch to English, sorry. Now, after we touched upon the region of the Western Balkan, we can now move to Poland. We have Anita Cieslicka. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. As a head of the LeadAir project, it would be great to hear your insights, but also touch upon the Visegrad Elektromobility report at the end. But I think the LeadAir project is pretty much covers the topic that we already discussed. Please.
Yeah, so first of all, I would like to thank you for inviting me to today's discussion. I represent Polish think tank that deals with fair and justice energy transition solutions, but also we are creating analysis based on data. So that's the first part of our work. And the idea of the LeadAir project was to support local governments in implementing well-thought long-term strategies for in first 2 years clean air, but then also for climate neutrality. So when I'm hearing about CARI, it's really similar to LeadAir and our mission in this project. So in order to efficiently reduce emissions of greenhouse gases, but also air pollutants, the involvement of many decision makers at different levels is needed. So I mean European, national, but also local. We need full commitment to create long-term and well-thought strategies. So in Poland, despite the fact that we see movements to improve air quality, we are still paying price for I think many years of neglecting the energy transition field, and the crisis of higher energy prices connected with war in Ukraine showed us profoundly the unsolved and neglected problems will come back to us in unexpected and worst moments. So as a country, we still need well-designed strategy and decision makers who will carry out the long-term strategies and not only react on ad hoc basis. So we really gave huge hope in a national recovery plan for Poland. But in terms of measures, I will start from heating that should have priority in Poland in terms of upcoming winter that we heard about today, and the growing risk of energy poverty. So it's a huge problem in Poland right now. So we are witnessing an extremely brutal war. In Forum Energii, we propose a shift in response to energy crisis and Russia's policy. So by replacing coal and gas in heating, and taking intensive measures, we could improve the quality of life for households while generating thousands of new jobs. So it's really important in our opinion. So we published an analysis showing that between 2022 and 2027, we can reduce coal consumption in heating, but also in district heating by more than 75%. And 65% of gas consumption. However, it requires a number of actions from the state and from the local governments, starting with change in energy policy, but also the introduction of energy efficiency standards through support and comprehensive assistance at local level. So by taking actions as quick as possible, starting with lowering the temperature in buildings, and I mean like 1 to 2 degrees, through investments in thermal renovation, electrification of heat and efficient installations, coal consumption by the end of 2023 could fall in Poland by almost 3 million tons. So I think it's huge effect. So two other solutions I would like to mention today that very help and were very needed in Poland are the anti-smoke resolutions and national clean air program. So firstly, subsidize and policy for replacement of individual heat sources with renewable energy in households. So far under the Clean Air program have been submitted about 370,000 contracts for heat source replacement, and now we see this direction to move in replacement of heat sources to choose mostly heat pumps. So it's really important because it shows that people recognize the efficiency of this solution. So second instrument that has opened up policymaking opportunities, especially for local governments, are anti-smoke resolutions, which are a great tool to regulate the limitations and rules for domestic heating sources. They can be implemented at regional, municipality or city basis. So this is a tool that gives a chance to clearly set a date by which the heat source must be replaced, but also allow for inspections and monitoring of progress. So another important solution are, of course, smart city planning and greening of cities. There are significant topics. These are significant topics in Poland when we are struggling with concrete and traffic in cities. So another thing is legislation at European level, because Poland would never decide individually to achieve ambitious goals in field of climate neutrality, but thanks to, for example, Clean Air Directive, we are obligated as a country to take an action. So it gives a chance to motivate each government, despite the political view, and have impact on long-term goals. So last but not least thing is, of course, building a public support. During our work with 45 cities from all over the Poland, we know that building public support and awareness is often overlooked, but in our opinion, it's really crucial. So society is an integral part of change, supporting residents with technical knowledge. For example, we have in Małopolska eco-advisors, has great impact on the pace of changes. So residents can be a driving force for climate neutrality. And I would like to conclude that although we are not in easy time to introduce climate solutions, above all, we need to direct our efforts towards climate neutrality and start prioritizing it at all levels, because is the first step to our country and European security. So in case of measures, that's all. But also you asked me about the report on transportation. So transportation is, I think, one of the biggest issues in Poland, but in many countries, because all the solutions can be controversial for residents and citizens. So in our report about Visegrad countries, given years of lack of effective policies in regard the implementation of appropriate measures to reduce emission from transport become an urgent challenge. So a mega trend in which to find its opportunity is, of course, electrification, especially of passengers cars. Vehicle manufacturing is important industry in those countries. So the right orientation of the automotive industry in these countries can bring tangible benefits to each one of them. So key conclusions of our report was that in Poland, Czechia, Slovakia, and Hungary, electromobility is at an early stage of development. The efforts related to schemes of direct financial support promoting the use of electric vehicles were insufficient to achieve 2020 targets. However, in the last 3 years, in the Visegrad Group countries, a stable and rapid growth in number of the both electric vehicles in use and recharging point was recorded. So our report also recommended or proposed some solutions. So the first flagship project recommended by us for the group countries is the creation of the electric route that would enable the smooth movement of electric vehicles between Warsaw, Prague, Budapest, and also Bratislava. So the second recommended project is the establishment of a regional competence center for electromobility, which would strengthen the potential for electromobility development in the entire eastern part of European Union. So I think that's all for me.
Thank you, Anita. And last but not least, Balkan region. It would be great to hear about the EU role, the future plans, and particularly the vision on the energy community and strengthening the legal framework around the energy community in the context of the opening negotiations with the countries or continuing negotiations with the countries of the Western Balkans. So please.
Thank you, Leila, and thank you especially for pronouncing correctly my surname, which is not a common, even Italians make mistake in. And I'm very honored to be here. Good morning and good afternoon, everybody, and representing humbly the European Commission in this high relevant discussion. I mean, I was reading yesterday the inputs and the briefing that I received also from DG Environment, and the numbers are staggering. I didn't know them, honestly, but there is a calculation of 350,000 premature deaths due to air pollution per year in the European Union. That on the denominator of 450 million makes almost 1 per 1,000, which is an enormous number. And unfortunately, the numbers in the Western Balkans are 32,000 per upon 18 million, which make it more than the double. So it's a huge problem, and luckily it's a problem without borders, because the pollution is not stopping at any borders. So we have, for example, here in Bosnia, the thermoelektrana of Pljevlja that is considered one of the most polluting in Europe for sulfur and other substances, but also the others are very outdated. And my predecessors in the discussion pointed to a big dilemma, I would say, which is the trade-off between this huge impact on our health and our quality of living, and what are the consequences of the transition in terms of economic impact, in terms of services, heating, energy production, and so on. So this is the big dilemma, I think, for all of us. And as already stressed, the war in Ukraine made it even more acute in terms of how to do it. Well, the European Union, as all here I think know very well, has bet on the transition, on the energy transition to a number of plans. Well, there is the Green Deal that now have been strengthened by the Fit for 55. So the target to reduce by 55% the emissions by 2030 and go to zero by 2050. And the European Commission on this has been extremely serious in partnering with the Balkan countries, the Balkan 6, where we were saying before, and through instruments that have been approved already 2 years ago in Sofia, the Green Agenda. And this instrument has been underpinned by a substantial scheme of investment, which is the economic and investment plan that is strictly interlinked with the green transition and the digital transition, but they are somehow connected because technology is another aspect of making the transition possible and sustainable. So there is this strong willingness of the European Commission to partner with the Balkan countries. The European Investment Plan has a 9 billion of starting investment on different sectors, of course, not just on the green transition, but also on the green transition, aimed to trigger much more investment from the private sector. So some of the energy communities, of course, the platform which helps the Balkan countries to be really actors in this process together with the European Union, because it is a community, so it has legal status. It has is somehow making them very similar to the European members in terms of discussions, directives, and support in implementing the directives the European Union is developing. So now, for the time being, there are some, as the colleague mentioned, on the large plants, combusting plants, but there are ideas to enlarge the acquis of the energy community with other directives. It's a process in which we are already engaged, and we will try to see where and how is the best way to make it happen. But legal things are beautiful, are necessary, but if they're not implemented, are totally useless. So what we have, what we can experience in the Western Balkans is that the three elements that are critical to achieve a result, which is collecting evidence. So we are talking of monitoring the quality of air. We are talking about making inventories of the large pollutants in the area, and then develop policies and strategy to tackle this issue, and then implement those strategies is largely not happening. And that is clearly a political will, and it clearly is a responsibility of the partner countries who have the responsibility to use the tools and the resources that we are putting at disposal. What I would like to say also to conclude, because then we will give space for questions and other interventions, is that the green agenda, in my view, is beautiful because exactly is very obvious what it is talking about. It's talking about health of ourselves, of our children, of our future. Is talking of energy security, is talking of a better environment, is talking of garbage, making them not destroying our environment, but becoming a resource, protecting biodiversity. And it is so, because normally we are here when I'm working for the delegation, now the big technical discussion on the acquis or bog. But here, no, it's very clear what we're talking about. We cannot hide, and it is also an instrument that require cross interaction between the institutions, vertical interactions between the institutions at central level, local level, as our colleagues were explaining, and the population, because population needs to be aware and needs to contribute to the transformation. So it's a very challenging but a fascinating endeavor to implement the green agenda in the countries of the Western Balkans. And I would say that is contrary to the initial fear that my dilemma was posing. So if we move towards, we need to close mines, we need to close plants, we will lose job force, we will create problems of energy security. No, the fact that there is this investment available, make it as an opportunity of sustainable economic development. But if these strategies and this legislation is used and implemented, this will trigger more investment. If it's not, it will become extremely difficult to justify at different levels and investment banks or private sector to come in and do the investment. I have friends who call me knowing where I am now, asking me what is Bosnia doing regarding the energy market, because we have equity funds, we want to invest, and we are nowhere with that. So this money are not coming. We can boost this investment with this 9 billion, but if the framework conditions are not there, this money will not flow into the country. This is full responsibility of the authorities, but the citizens should be aware of the missed opportunity that they are really risking in the next future. So I think it is clear the objective, and there are probably insufficient resources, but we can discuss then on the amount of resources available. I think we are already discussing in Brussels about this amount of resources available, but if we see them happening and flowing, then there is a good motivation to boost. Otherwise, well, we are waiting for the response. So I think it's a great opportunity for all of us, because as said, there's no border for pollution and the environment, and we are here to continue to partner and to help through the different instruments, platforms, legislative frameworks that we can put in place, and our commitment within the European Union to do the green transition and to move away from the pollutants and the present situation.
Thank you, Stefano. Yeah, if we could only find a mechanism to trigger the political will, and it's not only in the energy sector, it's not the clean air, it's not the green agenda, it's basically for any given topic and any given problem in Bosnia, in Balkan countries, but the rest of the EU as well. So if whoever finds a way to change this position of the politics, that everything depends on them, I think will actually unlock the processes which we need. This is the time now to open for the questions. I have about 25 minutes, more or less. So the floor is open to you here in the room. We have somebody who will check the questions online for the participants participating through Zoom, but the floor is yours. Let's have some questions. We must have triggered some interest. Okay, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Srđan and I'm representing Health Environment Alliance here. So thanks for this conversation and thank you for bringing the health to this agenda today. Since we had the chance to cooperate with Peter and with the energy community regarding the CARI initiative, all my questions is actually to the people coming from this region is how you see the benefit of joining this initiative and what will be like future for you as a cities joining this initiative, because we know that you are sharing the knowledge among yourselves and also looking for other countries and cities across the Europe of better understanding how you can improve the quality of air in your region, but how you just perceive like being a member of this initiative, and what will be like your recommendation for the other cities to join the same initiative. Thank you.
As I said, first thing, and I can say, just a moment, there is exchange of experience. You can see what's going on in Bosnia, because we are not so close with Macedonia, so we can see what's going on in Bosnia. We can see what's going on in Serbia, especially in Novi Sad, in Niš, about the participants, in Montenegro. So first of all, there is experiences. Also, we saw at the kickoff meeting in Szeged some examples how the other cities, what they done, what their initiative of local government, of citizens, and what they done and what they do in next steps to have better air quality. So that's the first, I think, maybe the most important thing from initiative of CARI. And also, like Peter said, initiative comes from the cities. Initiative comes from mayors. It means that maybe the government, mayors that have something to do more and wants to do more, not only citizens. And I think that there is 2 points what should be in this CARI project. And also they have a lot of examples. They have a lot of, for example, I mentioned that we done local environmental action plan in our city. So they gave us a lot of examples for that. So you can change everything. You can discuss with someone who knows better than you, especially because we start with this project. We are not with the 2 or 3 year experience. So for me, that's the best that we can take from the CARI initiative.
May I add something to what Emilija said? One thing is actually what Srđan was already hinting to, and that is the fact that CARI is an open initiative, so it's open for any municipality to join. So let's hope that perhaps also today's discussion will trigger some other municipalities to join. And another thing is that I also briefly mentioned in my intervention that after this boot camp, as we were calling it in Szeged, and then the six training sessions, we also had some bilaterals with the municipalities which were requested. So we offered the possibility for bilaterals, but then we are also thinking about and planning like how we could expand this and how we could basically build up like a direct mentoring system for municipalities who feel that they would be welcoming such support.
Yes, because just a moment, because we just start with this process. So, you know, when you start from some point, it's very important to have somebody who also do something about that subject. So that's very important for us, like municipality, the only from North Macedonia that is a part of CARI initiative. For the time being.
Složit ću se sa kolegicom Emilijom. Jedan od razloga pristupanja inicijativi jeste prikupljanje iskustava od nekoga ko se već bavio sa tim, koji imao slične probleme koje mi trenutno imamo. Pored toga, jedan od dodatnih problema je, svi se mi pitamo šta nakon zatvaranja i rudnika i termoelektrane, jer i stanovništvo i sva ekonomija se veže za njihovo poslovanje. Tako da nama su potrebne ideje kako da animiramo stanovništvo da ne moraju da budu i financijski i u bilo kom drugom smislu i energetski vezani za termoelektrane i rudnik uglja, nego jednostavno potrebne su nam ideje kako da animiramo i nas same i sve ostale u rješavanju tog problema. Neminovnost je neka koju smo mi postajemo svjesni da će doći u jednom momentu do zatvaranja energetskog sektora, odnosno proizvodnje energije od uglja, sagorijevanja uglja, tako da moramo da tražimo alternative. I onda nam treba iskustva od ljudi koji su već koriste te alternative i prevazišli su taj problem, taj ekonomski problem i problem bojazni lokalnog stanovništva, a i kompletnog energetskog sektora. Pogotovo u Crnoj Gori gdje je jedinstvena termoelektrana za čitavu državu i gdje je ona okosnica tog energetskog sektora.
Thank you. Is there more questions? Is there?
Thank you. Ognjen Pantić, Belgrade Open School. I guess that my question is mostly directed to Mr. Vajda. What would be the status of the Eco Design Directive, taking into account where the pollution in the Balkans comes from? I tried to also do a little research about Poland. As far as I understood, in Poland, it's more about central heating, which is coal-based. But in the Western Balkans, it's a lot of individual households that are using inefficient stoves. So did you consider incorporating the provisions of Eco Design Directive into the AKI, and do you think that would maybe help? Thank you.
Thank you very much for this question. It would be easier for me to answer the second part of the question first. Would it be helpful? Yes, definitely. The question is, like, as you put it, like, would you consider making it part of Energy Community law? That's not for the Secretariat to decide. That's actually the European Commission who has the right of initiative in the Energy Community legal framework. So it is always, I mean, any new piece of environmental law or any kind of EU law can only become part of Energy Community law if there is a proposal by the European Commission, and then there is a decision by the Ministerial Council to incorporate that. The Ministerial Council can even also alter the text of EU law. This happened, for instance, with the LCP directive or with the Industrial Emissions Directive. When they were incorporated into Energy Community law, there were certain modifications to the text. This is also quite possible. So yes, that would be definitely quite helpful, especially for like the household heating sector. And for the other part of the question, this is not for the Secretariat to decide.
Thank you, Peter. Any more?
Can I say something
Sure.
about Poland? So we had also a huge problem with individual heat sources, and that's why we have this cleaner program at national level, but also we have in Poland huge obstacles with district heating. So this is really important part of the change, but in Poland, the district heating has no legislation, no support, and there it's mostly on coal. It's working on coal, so it's really a hard situation. That's why I'm talking about energy efficiency, but also thermomodernization, because these are crucial to act right now and to act for the energy parity in Poland. So I think it's really important. And also I would like to add that in every network of cities, they can build a discussion, but also share knowledge. It is also really important that they have this trust, that they are not judged or criticized. So it is really important to just, build the place where cities can feel comfortable and just focus on the solutions and not the PR of the city. So I think it was really important in our project.
Leila, you mentioned at the end of my previous intervention the issue of political will, because that's something not easy to trigger, and but something can be said of this specific discussion on air pollution and on green issues in general. I think that since the dissolution of Yugoslavia, we've been talking of civil society in the Western Balkans. It's not my job to know where it is or how it works, how successful it is, but this sector is certainly an area where the civil society should be involved, and in general, the citizenship should be involved. Recently, Sarajevo, together with, if I'm not wrong, Podgorica and Elbasan, joined the 100 Cities initiative to reach net zero emission in 10 years, which is a remarkable commitment and success, I would say, to join this mission. It implies that the strategies that the town will have to develop, including for the air pollution, will have to be discussed with the citizens. So this is a crucial step that normally we look at this as a top-down process, legislative, strategic, etc. And instead is talking of the daily life of everybody, every one of us. So I think that there should be a strong involvement of the citizens in this process. If the political, the administrative level doesn't do it, the civil society should help in this. And it is a critical step because it's not a clear equation. It is a discussion that has to involve the entire society.
I absolutely agree. And it's basically a great end to this panel, because we obviously don't have more questions and we don't have even more time, because I was wrong with the agenda. So apologies on my side. Thank you very much. You were inspirational and educational for me. Thank you for the work that you do. I do hope that the initiative is going to grow. It's only 1 year since your inception, but obviously results already there. So I do hope that other municipalities across the region are going to join, and we will be talking about more successes and more positive stories next year and the years to come. I also do believe that we will see a larger group of civil society organizations to start with tackling the issue of the energy sector in general, and consequently the air pollution, the green agenda, and all the other connected issues and problems. Thank you very much for your participation. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you very much.